So, bro, I'm just want to say thank you so much for taking your time to talk to me, man. Alhamdulillah, man. Obviously we know you're busy. I know you're busy, and you're doing a lot of things in life. With work and everything, college, obviously. But today I brought you here. I just wanted to talk to you about your story, because obviously you let me know that you came from a Sikh background to Islam. So I just wanted to know what caused that, and what was the whole reason behind making such a big change. Changing your whole lifestyle and coming to another lifestyle. SubhanAllah, I just want to know, man.
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Brother Yusuf. So those of you who go to Sheridan, who probably know me, I show up at the prayer room a lot. So yes, as Brother Saad pointed out, I'm from a Sikh. I come from a Sikh background, and I reverted to Islam around like 4 years ago. So my story is like when I was younger, right? I'm actually originally from States, so I didn't really know much about anything. I grew up in a Western environment.
Like, you're talking about America,
yeah. I grew up playing mostly games. Just games. Like that's what my life was, right? In school, I was like whatever. School, like as soon as I would get home from school, just play games. I was just like your typical your teenager, right? And like as grade 8 came, my responsibilities I started realizing, right? Oh shoot, I'm busting into high school soon, right? And I actually finished grade 9 there and grade 10 there, and came here during the summer of grade 11. So this was around 3 years ago.
Yeah.
And at the time, right? I grew up in a Sikh background, right? I'm not saying all Sikhs do this, but I know a lot of Sikhs they don't like Islam at all, like at all. They hate it, just like a lot of Hindus hate Islam, right? And so my perception was I grew up hearing bad stories and reading the news, right? I was like, oh, Muslims do this, Muslims do that. Oh, halal meat is bad. It's not good for you. Yeah. So I was surprised, right? I was like, I didn't really care, right? Because I didn't really care about religion at all. My main focus was just getting video games. I was chasing after girls too much. I would just look at people. I was like, wow, that guy has a girlfriend, right? And I'm like, and I
materialistic things. You're at this point in your life that all these material things you're just trying to chase after now, right? But
I was looking at people with big lavish cars. I was like, bro, man has a nice Lambo. I gotta get it, And then high school came, and I finally moved here. So when I came here, right, I started grade 11 here. So I was already knew Canada, America in terms of high schools, they're not different at all. Yeah. It's still the same ideals, right? Maybe some things are a bit different, but 99% is major stuff, right? So the first time I listened to Azan, actually, right? It was just out of the blue, right? I'm like, today I'm gonna listen to Azan, right? But after I listened to my first Azan, right? It kind of infused into my heart, right? But it wasn't a big change immediately, right? I didn't I liked it really a lot, right? But I didn't think I wasn't miracle, okay, okay, it was a slow graduation. I started listening to more azans and started liking it, and slowly by slowly, right? I started watching Islamic videos here and there. I didn't know anything about Islam at all, I didn't even know it was an Abrahamic faith. So because in States, right? They only
perception is they worship a black box.
I actually went to a Christian school for during my elementary years, and it was just a bit weird, right? Because they only teach Christianity. They don't teach Christianity, but that's everyone assumes if you believe in God, they think you're a Christian there, right? So I didn't really know much about religion, right? Slow by slow, I started reading into the Deen, right? Slow by slow, right? I didn't know any who of the prophets were, I just know I'm just Prophet Moses, he's only for the Christians, Prophet Jesus, he's only for the Christians, They're only for the Christians and the Jews. I didn't even know much about the Jews at all, I thought they were entirely something different. So slowly by slowly, right? And so I didn't take my Shahada in a masjid, right? Because I converted actually while I was in the States, so I just took Shahada by heart, right? Because I couldn't go anywhere without getting in big trouble, right? And my family was unaware at the time, they were completely unaware of what was going on, and so it was there in the summer of grade 10, right?
But just going back to it, what made you want to study about Islam and know more about Islam? What attracted you to Islam?
Looking back then, I don't know, but but fast forward to today, right? I don't think there could be a better like definition of being guided by Allah, right? At the time, I didn't understand. I did not understand. You know, it wasn't like a fast conversion. It wasn't like, okay, like that's it, everything's done. I feel like, you know, like it was like very slow, gradual by gradual by gradual. You know, it was gradual, like it was gradual improvement. So like, but when I first came here, right, I actually went to the masjid here, right? It was a masjid close to where I live. And like it's the first time I actually stepped in a masjid. I was like, wow, this looks pretty nice, right? So I walked in and I found out it was used to be like a church before, right? And like so like I'm just waiting there, right? I don't know what to do. I'm just sitting there, right? And I'm just sitting there. I'm just doing nothing. I'm just like, I don't know what to do, right? Like, and one of the brothers, alhamdulillah, he comes up and gives me salams, right? Like he's never seen me there before, right? So he just comes in and gives me salams, right? So I'm just like, I give salams to him back, and like. So we just started chilling after that. Like he started telling me more and more, right? Like I still at the time I didn't really know in depth at all. Like I was just beginning to learn about Salah. Yeah. Like I actually gave the azan there. Like for like the summer of great like summer, I actually was like a temporary like muezzin there. So I would show up there a lot and give the azan for Yuj, Maghrib, and Isha, right? And like so something big actually happened after that, right? I got caught by my parents. I got caught by my parents, right? And like they threatened me, you know, they're like, oh, you know, like we're gonna kick you out of the house, right? So like for the time, right, I was like, you know that one feeling you get in your stomach, right? You're like, oh shoot, bro, like I'm done, I'm a done man now, right? I was like, oh man, like the train's come to a stop, right? So after what I did, right, it took me like I thought about it for a week, right? I'm just like, oh man, what am I gonna do now, right? I couldn't even go to the masjid anymore without my parents knowing about it, right? So what I did from there, right? Like I just took it like slow by slow. Like what actually happened was like when I started school, right? Like I didn't like this was so grade 11, so this was like 3 years ago. I was so 16, so like I didn't really pray because I didn't know how to really pray. Yeah. And like I kind of just like went out of the like I would pray like not every day, like every here and there. Like because I didn't really know much at all. Like I kind of just fell out of I just kind of like fell out, right? Like everything just started kind of like caught me off guard, you know? School was going on, right? And once again, the same thing that I did in the States when I was in America happened here, right? I started chasing after women. I started chasing after like, oh, I want to become the most popular guy in school, right? And like I did some stuff that I regret, which I'm not going to mention here, but like, and it got me in some trouble, right? So after that, I realized my consequences, right? So this is once again like this but I still wasn't praying every day, right? I was still like in that mindset, you know, like oh I want all the girls, or you know, I just want all the girls because all the girls, you know, because this is how like teenagers are, right? Yeah. So like it wasn't really till my year of grade 12, like I guess that Allah like guided me even more, you know, like my heart was like I don't know what changed, but like I met a brother there, right? And like he actually like he helped guide me, right? He taught me like Salah, like how to properly what to recite during Salah, how to do the motions properly, how to end the prayer, you know, how to start the prayer, and like he told me then we started talking more in depth, right? Yeah. More in depth talk, right? He taught me about the prophets, you know. He taught me about like their message, right? Then I'm like, wow, this is my prophet Musa alayhi salam, right? Back then, I was like thinking to myself, hey, back then, right? Like I heard that name, but I didn't know who that really was, right? And I was like, oh, like I didn't know like Islam is an Abrahamic faith, right? Like we believe in Prophet Ibrahim alayhi salam, right? Like I was so like it took me by surprise. Right? I was like wow, like I was thinking this entire like this is something different, right? Like what's going on, you know?
And I want to ask you this. You mentioned all of this, mashallah, beautiful, like all of this very nicely. I just wanted to ask you that you went through obviously a big change. That even when you started to learn about Islam, then you came obviously here, right? And then you did take your shahada, but then you as you talked about, it wasn't an easy road. Then you came back to high school and things started to go again, yeah. And you know, same feelings started to come again, yeah. And obviously now, alhamdulillah, then you still came back, and then you still tried to learn more of the religion. Once you were learning that, and once you know all this knowledge was coming in at you, how did you absorb it? What was your mindset of learning? You know, like because obviously you went through something already, and now, as humans are, like, you know, when you go through something, you have the second time you're a bit more lazy, you're lackadaisical, right? but you having that mindset, sitting there wanting to learn. I'm just amazed. I just want to know what was that drive behind that.
Like, actually, like the biggest point was like when a friend told me about like all the signs of the end times, right? Like before, I was completely oblivious, right? Like I was like, you're like the world is probably still like billions of years left, we don't gotta worry about anything, But like my friend actually started telling me like more about hadiths, right? I started analyzing my surroundings around me, right? I really started to dig into deep into. I'm like, like all these signs coming true, right?
Yeah.
Like I just started reading hadith and like Quran more and more, right? I'm just absorbing this information all at once. I'm just like connecting it to the environment around me, right? I'm like, I'm saying, this hadith, like I see this happening today, right? Musical instruments are widespread, like people are drinking alcohol like crazy, like adultery is widespread, right? I'm just thinking to myself, right? Like think about it, right? Because like I was just like, I was thinking, right? Maybe like Allah was protecting me from all these like bad things all along, right? It came as like at the time I was completely ignorant of I was like, bro, like, I was like I was getting mad, right? I was like, bro, like what's going on, bro? Like, bro, like, why am I not getting the girl, then I'm like, I was like, this is like a click, it's like a click.
And what you just say? Allah says in the Quran that you may love something, but it may not be good for you. And you may not like something, but it may be good for you. And subhanAllah, this is when you're trusting Allah's wisdom, right?
Yeah. Like I just started taking, like he just told me everything in detail, right? We started discussing more, because we were in the same class, alhamdulillah, right? So like it was easy for us to meet up in their prayer room there. So we just go in and pray like Dhuhr there and just like maybe chill outside. And I was just taking all these things in once, right? Like there's still it was a lot less. Like I wouldn't, because I wouldn't say I was still like, it was a rapid change, but like I guess like I was like my mind, right? It was still like, it wasn't fast enough to accept like the change all at once, right? So that too, like the knowledge came quick, but like the change itself was gradual again, right? So it took like a good 6 months, half the year, right?
And just sorry to cut you off right now. I wanted to ask you now, like, alhamdulillah, I know your story. What made you question Sikhism? And what made you question, like obviously you being a Sikh, you probably know Sikhism better than any of us, right? When you look at Sikhism, what's the thing that you looked at and said, hey, it doesn't make sense? For me, I'll be honest with you, I just want to throw it out to you, that when I look at Sikhism, I always think that if it's a truthful religion, it should be for all of humanity.
Okay.
People from Africa, people from America, people from all around the world should be practicing their truthful religion. Why is it only in India? For me, that's how I look at it. I just want to know, when you looked at the religion, because obviously the gurus, and there's, I don't know, 12 of them, Allahu Alam, I don't know the number, but I just don't understand the whole thing. Obviously you know more, but break it down if it'll be easier for me. I want to just understand this.
Okay, so there's a couple of things that made me question, but I'll list the big three. Like I'll give three big reasons, right? So the one, like I keep looking at it, right? I'm analyzing the scriptures, right? I was like, it looks to me like someone took like Hinduism and Islam and mixed them together, right? Like that a concept of one God but is pantheistic, right? It doesn't seem make any sense, right? How they're like, okay, there's one God, but like he's in everything, right? I'm just like, that seems like a kind of like a Hinduism, like a pantheistic concept, right? It's not like an Abrahamic concept where there's like Allah's above like the heavens, right? And he's looking down the creation. He controls all things. He sees all, right? But he's not in the creation. He's outside the creation. But he's monitoring everything outside the creation because he's the all-knowing, the all-powerful, right? Like that point like stuck with me, right? This is the second point that stuck with me, as you pointed out, right? You're like, why is it only for like a certain group of people, right? Why don't I see like in Africa or like say
if it's a truthful religion.
Yeah, and like I was just like, something's not right? But I see Islam, right? Like alhamdulillah, and like there's Africans, like there's like majority of Africa is Muslim, like a large parts of Europe are Muslim, Bosnia, Russia. I didn't even know there was white Muslim countries. I was so surprised, like Bosnia, Chechnya, large parts of Russia, right? And like I just see like large parts of like Asia, Indonesia, and stuff like that, right? So I was like, obviously, like there has to be something about Islam that like there's something about it that has a huge appeal to people of all colors.
Like you just talked about Africa. I just want to shout it out there. In Nigeria, mashallah, the Muslims over there, they are so mashallah strong on their deen. They get together at the Tahajjud. They all get together. They have food, they have breakfast, and then they have a lecture till Fajr. So mashallah, like these people, like we don't even know, like Nigeria, mashallah, is known for that. But the Muslims over there, like just to say that Islam, mashallah, is everywhere, right? Believing in one true God, believing in the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and then believing in all the prophets that came throughout time, Adam, Noah, Abraham, Moses, Jesus, all of them, and not making any distinctive figures like, okay, Jesus is now the Son of God, because we understand this as we believe that if Jesus was God, then how come Adam is not God? Because Adam didn't have a mother or father.
Yes.
Yes. So we, mashallah, in Islam just breaks down the logic for you. That, and then even if you look at the Bible, there's certain stories in the Bible that you can just take it out, like and I feel like even with Guru, like if you look at Guru Nanak, because Sikhism, there's a story of Guru Nanak that he went to do Hajj, right? And in the book it's written that he had his feet towards the Kaaba, and then some Saudi dude seen him
some Haji, right?
Haji,
some
whatever,
right? Yeah.
So he just took his feet and he just wanged it a bit to the side, right? Not facing towards the Kaaba, because it's disrespect.
Yeah.
And then in the book it's written that the Kaaba moved.
Kaaba turned,
now,
right?
if that moved, now let's break it analytically, right? If it did move, then how come it's not recorded in history?
That's what I'm thinking, right? That actually brings my third reason, right? Because the Prophet is known by his miracles, his prophecies, and the miracles he brings, right? So a true prophet, whatever he prophesies, it always comes true. It never goes false, right? So I was just thinking, right? It seems to me like someone wanted to replace Islam in its figures, right? Yeah. It's like replace the prophets with new people and replace the holy sites with new holy sites, right? I'm like, there's no prophet, there's no end time prophecies, no one has prophesied Sikhism and because I read the Bible too, right? Because not for guidance, right? Because because a lot of people a lot of Christians were like, oh, you guys claim that Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is prophesied in the Torah, right? So show it to me, I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna show it to these guys, right? So truthfully, right? Because in the Quran it says that they find the unlettered prophet in the Torah and the Injil, right? And and it's a claim, right? So that means we have to prove that claim, right? Because a claim that can't be proven is not really we can't say it's the truth, right? So I took that I'm just I read the Torah, right? I'm just reading the Torah, right? I look at the Hebrew, right? And I see the name Muhammadim by name, right? And there was a Jewish, because I watch a lot of Muslim channels, right? They debate Christians. They're Christians show us this, show us that. And the Muslim guy's playing the Jewish rabbi, reciting the verse, right? It says Muhammadim, right? And the verse is talking about it's God talking about how the next prophet, his amongst him are 10,000 chiefs, right? I'm 10,000 chiefs, right? But the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam had 10,000 companions when he conquered Mecca. And I was reading the Zabur, the Psalms, right? And it says something about when they pass through the valley of Bakka, they're sending the Bakka is actually ancient name for Mecca, which is mentioned in the Quran as well, right? And it says that they're mentioning they're praising you, O Lord, right? I'm just hang on a second, Bakka is an ancient name for Mecca, right? And who else besides the Muslim goes through the valley to Bakka and praising God, right? There's no one else. Yeah. So I'm just combining all these things, right? I'm just looking more into that, right? This the Quranic claim has stood the test. Not only is he mentioned by name, he's mentioned by description. His companions are mentioned that he'll have 10,000 companions. Mecca is mentioned by name as Becca because that's the ancient name of Mecca.
And bro, his prophecies. Now, when you look at a prophet, you can tell if he's a truthful prophet if his prophecies were not true.
Yes.
The Prophet ﷺ came with prophecies that are amazing. He said about homosexuality will be common. Now we see today, homosexuality is widespread.
Zina, adultery, alcohol.
Women will walk in such a way, they will have things on their head which will resemble to the humps of camels. Now I'll tell you what that thing is. It's the man buns, whatever.
Yeah.
Subhanallah, the Prophet ﷺ never even lived through this time and he knew that. So, if you look at this and you break this, he didn't forge these things, getting these, coming these, and you read the Quran, man. I'll just put it to the best test. Open a surah. For example, Surah Ibrahim. Alif Lam Ra. Kitabun anzalna ilayka. I'll say the Arabic. Alif Lam Ra. This is the book that is revealed to you, O Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So you can take out mankind from the darkness to the light by the permission of Allah. These words you just read, and you really need to have arrogance in your heart to reject. So I agree with you totally that the power of the Quran, and then you look at the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, his Sunnah, that itself is sufficient for one to accept Islam.
Like as I mentioned earlier, the end time prophecies, right? Those really got me thinking. You know, I'm like, what am I doing? I'm reading all these prophecies come true, right? I'm like, but these signs. I'm just thinking, I'm like, but these signs were going on for many years, even before I even became Muslim, right? So I'm just like, and like, subhanallah, you know, I'm seeing signs coming true before my very eyes, you know. We all know about MBS, right? We all know he's a seller, so it shouldn't be that surprise, right? And we just see them recently, they erected the Statue of Liberty, right?
Yeah.
In Jeddah, I think, right?
Jeddah,
Yeah. And like, I'm just reading the hadith, right? That like, these people, they will dance around the Statue of Dhul Khalisa, right? And like, I'm just thinking, a hadith just came true before my very eyes, just in my very eyes, and these people are dancing around it. There's music, there's wine there, and I was like, artists going to perform like concerts and stuff for Allah and all like, and like this like they don't care, right? Like I'm just like this is what a true prophet is known by his prophecies, and all his prophecies are coming true, like all his prophecies are coming true, right?
And bro, you can also look at the Prophet's life, the amount of battles he partaked in. Intellect can say that, okay, that amount of battles you partake in, you won't make it out. But the Prophet ﷺ made it out through every battle of life. Yes, some battles we didn't win. But my bottom line of saying this is that he made it out of every single battle and he lived. Our Prophet ﷺ was a warrior and he partaked in it, he fought. And yes, at times we didn't win. But he ﷺ, the Quraysh, they plotted to their best to kill him. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when he wanted to bring death, that's when it only came. And no one killed him. He lived to complete his religion.
He perfected the religion of Prophet Ibrahim alayhi salam, his father. He perfected that religion. After 100 years, Islam had spread to every land.
And just like you talked about before, you know, the Torah, the Jews, they changed the scripture.
Yeah.
Allah says in the Quran, the people of the book, i.e. the Jews and the Christians, when they see you, O Muhammad they recognize you, the truthful ones, they recognize you as they recognize their own daughters.
Yeah, they know you as they know their own children.
But the ones that have corruption, that, oh, you know what, I don't want to remove the lineage of being a Jew. I don't want to remove my lineage. Let me change scripture. And then Allah talks about them in Surah Baqarah. Woe unto them what they wrote, woe unto them what they earned, woe unto them what they taught, woe, meaning of great sorrowness. Because what they have done, logically, they have sold their afterlife because they've seen the truth come to them, but they've just for their lineage, they have sold their afterlife for just what?
So and
merely pleasure.
Like as I mentioned earlier, right? These are the three reasons that like no one can really like you can't defeat these you can't defeat me on these three reasons because like there's too much evidence to suggest that like.
And then Sikhism, there's no comparison.
Yeah, there just simply isn't right? Because like I said, you know, I'm not trying to insult anybody, but like I do have to put the truth out there because like blind faith is not good at all. Whether even if you're Muslim, right? Just because someone tells you something, you just don't accept it like that, right? You have to look into it because there's like this whole issue of like sects in Islam, right? It's like Sunni and Shia, right?
Yeah.
But I would say that the correct one is the Quran and the authentic Sunnah, right? Because like we can clearly see because we sort of like the Quran is Furqan, right? So it's a criterion we can use it to see, like we see people worshiping graves, right? So we know that can't be the truth, so they can't be right. But when we just see, you know, we see brothers that follow the Sunnah and they follow the Quran, right? They're praying Tahajjud, they're praying all their 5 prayers, they're fasting for Ramadan, right? They don't pray to graves, they don't go to like, you know, like. I know, like in like India and Pakistan, right? We have like this like say like oh you know like Malvi Saab, right? Oh, you know, he has so much knowledge, you know, like don't talk about him, he's gonna send a jinn to you or something, you know, and stuff like that, you know. Like aunties, bro, they get like they get so scared, right?
Yeah.
But like
sorry to cut you off, man, but I just want to ask you this. Because we just touched on Sikhism.
Okay.
If there's a Sikh kid out there, or a guy out there, or a man out there, or whatever, and he's been learning about Islam, and he actually feels that it's the truthful religion, you have any tip, any advice to him, you know, anything to offer to him, that he's having the inclination towards Islam, but now he's holding back a bit and he's having second thoughts. Do you have anything to say?
I would like to say that please do look into more. Like no one can force you, but please like keep looking into it. Because even for me, it wasn't like right away. Something was gradual. Like as I told you, you know, I got I was in big trouble at times. You know, I was thinking to myself, bro, like it's over for me. You know, like I'm a dead man. No, like I'm done. You know. But like
you're still here.
Yeah, I'm still here. I'm still here. You know, I know more about the deen now. You know, I'm just like a stronger person overall. You know,
You took that step though, you know.
You have to take that step, you know, because if you just say no, I'm too scared, then you can't get anything done. Because then that means you're always going to be like staying in one area and you can't do anything, right? So you have to make that step forward because even if you look at any of the prophets' life, right? Any of the prophets, they had to make big steps. Prophet Ibrahim alayhi salam, right? His own father wanted to stone him. He said, oh Ibrahim, if you do not worship my idols, I will stone you. Imagine your own father, you're saying, I'm going to stone you today, right? But despite him, like his father wanted to stone him, he still loved his father, but he rejected what he believed in, you know? He left him. He left his ideology, you know? He had to leave his father.
SubhanAllah, like you obviously, even a reverted, is probably, you face that a lot too in your family, in your household. You're struggling through that day in and out, day out. And all the other converts too, reverts, sorry to say, they're going through this. And may Allah bless all you guys, man. You know, it's a struggle, I know, but alhamdulillah, I feel like I've you know, days pass by, you get stronger and stronger, inshallah. You know, Allah says in the Quran, you know, the people think that they're going to believe and they're not going to be tested. You know, so it's a test at the end of the day. Inshallah, the best thing is, alhamdulillah, we should be most grateful that Allah has guided us to Islam, you know.
Yes.
And we have the right understanding. And inshallah, we know a few years will pass by, 20, 30 years, and inshallah, if we're not here, hopefully we're in a good state, inshallah, with our Lord, you know. Ameen. You know?
Ameen.
So that's the whole goal, because I feel like, man, you're right. It probably took you probably pondered over people flexing, people, you know, showing their girls or cars, and sometimes as a human we think that even if I get that or whatever, people are just chasing that. Is that just life? You know? For me, I thought like that too. I'm like, is this life? You just go through the circle, you know? For example, in sports, every year they have the tournament, right? You know, the playoffs, right?
Yeah.
So 2019, 2020, 21, you know, it's a yearly thing. Is this life? If a person really thinks this is life, that's how people get depressed. Anxiety kicks in. You know, you don't know what to do. But Allah gives you so much strength in the Quran. Allah also tells us in the Quran, He tells the Prophet ﷺ, do not turn your gaze towards what we have given groups of the categories of disbelievers. We're testing them, you know? And it's don't get sad over what they have. You know, subhanAllah, so this is motivation for us believers too. Sometimes we see these people online, on YouTube, whatever the case may be. We're like, oh man, my life sucks. Oh, what am I doing talking about Islam? What am I, you know, literally, sometimes that's shaitan kicking in. But little do we know that they're wasting their life, subhanAllah. And this, subhanAllah, can be so much better. This can give you so much barakah. Like coming here, subhanAllah, tomorrow, God forbid, I might not be here. You might not be here. But if this goes up, subhanAllah, people benefit. God knows how much ajr you might get, or you know, people might get influenced from your story. SubhanAllah, might want to make a change. SubhanAllah, you know. So we gotta think like that, you know. Alhamdulillah, as believers, you know. You know, investors in akhirah. That's what you have to do, inshallah. And mashallah, what a bigger for an investment to do than, you know, mashallah, to, you know, accept Islam, man.
Yeah.
Mashallah. Very happy for you, man. Jazakallah for your story, bro. And inshallah, you know, any last words you want to say?
Just last words, you know, like, if you are thinking about Islam, you know, whatever, like, faith you're from, like, please do look into it, you know, like please do, like, don't look into it from, like, Western or media sources. Like, look into it, like, authentic, Look into the Prophet Prophet's life, look at his prophecies, like, and just, like, and think for yourself, you know, like, think, like, you know, if he's not a true prophet, right, how is everything coming true, right? And just look at the Quran, right? Like, just ponder upon it, right? Just look at all these, like, stories in the past, just all these, like, all the nations we read about, all the prophets.
Simply, right, man.
Like, it's trust me, you know, it's not easy at all. It's not easy at all. If you're thinking it's gonna be like a breeze through the park, you are severely mistaken. But that's what you have to sacrifice, you know. Like, you have to sacrifice something to gain something. It's always been like that. Even if you want to, like, you know, get big at the gym, right? You have to sacrifice, like, you gotta take away, like, you know, like, fatty foods and, like, chips and stuff like that. So, like, if you are, like, please do look into Islam. Like, keep looking into it and read about it from authentic sources. You know, please do not go to the media, because, like, you will be confused. Because there are people out there who want to degrade it.
Yeah, you're right.
So,
100%.
So that's all I have to say for today. Until next time, inshallah.
Inshallah. Jazakallah khair, bro.
Assalamu alaikum.
Jazakallah. Take care. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum.